Great accomplishment for our program and for this team. Georgia's dancing. It's a great day. Got hoops ahead of us. Great day for the SEC, of course. Historic day for our league. I'd like to just recognize these two guys. Silas Demary and Blue Cain become, Mike Malby told me today, two of a few guys that have won, only a few guys in the history of the program, history of the school that have won back-to-back 21 seasons in their first couple of years on campus. These guys continue to grow as people and as players, and they've led us, to the point that we got a chance to continue the season and represent Georgia in the NCAA Tournament. It's the greatest sporting event that exists. So we're fired up. If you can't tell, we're fired up and we're ready to get to work and start watching film and study Gonzaga as much as possible.
Questions?
Silas, I know the opportunity for postseason play is one of the reasons you came back to Georgia for another year. When you saw the teams, name kind of pop up on the board, just kind of what were you feeling at that time?
I'll probably kind of say I was just blessed to be able to be in this situation. I think just to think back as like a little kid, just always watching those games, especially during high school, like teachers turning on during the times in class. But just to be able to finally be a part of this moment, and especially being able to come back and do it in year two, I'm just grateful and happy to be a part of it.
Blue, sort of the same question. What does this moment mean for you, especially you, Silas, Dylan, coming back for your sophomore year and doing it your sophomore year?
Yeah, like Silas said, just blessed and excited, but also ready to get back to work. But yeah, just blessed and excited.
I guess for all three of you, what was going through your mind during the announcement show? You were trying to stay loose, and Coach, you were kind of saying hello to some fans, and you guys were as a team gathered together. Just what was going through your mind as you were seeing the bracket unfold, waiting?
I'd probably just say guys was just, like you said, we were nervous, obviously, just to see where we would land. I know there was a couple of spots people were saying maybe like Raleigh or, I was hoping to play in Raleigh because I'm from there, but I'm grateful to just be able to still be playing. But I think a lot of the guys definitely nervous, and just probably more so anxious than nervous, I'd say, just to see who we're going to play and just to get ready to get back to work.
Echo that. Well said. Anxious. Who are you playing? And let's start studying and start preparing for practice tomorrow.
Mike, I know the NIT is very different than the NCAA, but you guys made a run last year. That's tournament loser outlaw. Is there something to be gained? I guess I asked the players that too. Do you feel like, playing basketball schools like Xavier, Wake Forest, going on the road, did those experiences you think help out going into this postseason with these guys having experience?
Yeah, to a certain extent. But all that said, there's nothing like the NCAA tournament. And postseason experience is one thing, and I think that it provided momentum for these guys to catapult them into a really strong summer and an off season, a strong fall. The neutral site games, the St. John's, the Marquettes, the strength of our league has got us somewhat prepared. That said, the NCAA tournament is the NCAA tournament, and it's special. We just talked about it pretty briefly. But we've got a tough-minded group, and we got a group that, as we know, is incredibly resilient and connected, and we'll gain that experience on the fly, against a power program, a program we get a lot of respect for. But we'll be prepared. We're excited for the opportunity.
Mike, you're no stranger to the NCAA tournament. You made it 4 times with Florida. What is it going to take to get past this first round? What is it going to take for these guys to advance?
Got to play well. That's it. Just got to prepare well. Our approach has got to be on point. Got to defend. For both of us, it's the lack of familiarity. Us not having played them, obviously here these past few years, is what it is. And so the preparation's important. But I think both teams probably have a group of guys, I know we do for sure, that are extremely excited and will be really focused on the scout. And then I think when it's the big stage, when it's the NCAA tournament, when it's that great opportunity, especially for our guys outside of RJ Gottfried, it's going to be new for all of our guys. It's how do you respond to that first adversity and that seventh adversity, because it's coming, right, throughout the game. And we know we're playing a really good team. But these guys throughout this season have gotten better and better throughout the year in terms of how they handle, some of those adversities. Incredibly resilient team here, and we're going to be a tough out. And I think the committee recognized that.
Mike, I'm sure it'll be a lot of learning on the fly in the next few days, but at this point, what do you know about Gonzaga, that program, just sort of off the top?
Boy, they've won a lot. Coach Yu and his staff and his players over the years have just done a phenomenal job. And they're a team that's been very consistent offensively and defensively. They do what they do, and they do it really well. Excited to really study them closely here these next couple of days to see how much they've changed. But they've had a lot of success again with what's gotten to this point as a program.
How satisfying is it from the team you inherited to build to this point, to get to this point, knowing you still have the NCAA tournament?
Incredible. But we're not. We want to celebrate in the spring. We want to make some noise. We want to play well, regardless of how. We want to play well, and that stuff will take care of itself. But we have an opportunity as a team to make some noise. We do, and we'll talk more big picture in the spring. But we've come a long way, and these two guys are a huge part of it, of the rebuild here at Georgia. We all took a leap of faith. We all came to Georgia to do this, to get Georgia to the NCAA tournament.
Coach, we talked a lot about the SEC and how good it was this year. Now that you face somebody outside of the conference, having gone through that schedule, how do you feel like you prepared your team?
Very well. I mean, it's the best league in the history of college basketball. Everyone from the SEC that's going to participate in the NCAA tournament is prepared. We just are. We've played the best. We played the best defenses. We played some of the best offenses. The most amount of physicality, the depth. The SEC's just an incredible year. We're proud to be a part of it.
Do you feel like that schedule gives you any advantage?
Not necessarily. Gonzaga is really good. They played in a different league, obviously. For a long time, a league is very different than the SEC, and they've always had success despite that difference. So we're prepared because we've played really good teams in conference and non-conference. But at the end of the day, it's about those 40 minutes and how both teams compete and execute.
For Silas and Blue, you guys had a little extra preparation time after the tournament. Can you talk about what those practices have been like of late leading into this selection show?
Just getting back to our hunger. The SEC tournament didn't necessarily go out we wanted it to. But Coach White just, whenever we came back, just really wanted us to get back to our identity and just being hungry again. So we had a good practice yesterday and just competing.
Yeah, pretty much what Blue said. Just getting back to our main identity, playing hard, showing effort. Following the details. Pretty much all the little things that we've done to get here. Just try to hone in back in on those and just be solid.
Mike, what do the next few days look like, just as you guys get ready for Thursday, getting here and being in Wichita?
Busy night and early morning for the staff, of course, for obvious reasons, and then we'll have a great practice tomorrow, and we'll travel the next day. Past tomorrow's practice, I have no idea right now, and I don't really care.
Mike, speaking of which, you talk about not looking past the next day. Y'all done a good job this year not looking past the next game. Y'all been very clear about that.
Yeah.
Was there ever a point to see? This may be a better question for the players. Was there ever a point when y'all were, looking like y'all might make a run? Y'all allowed yourself to think, hey, we may have a shot at sitting where you're sitting right now?
I would definitely say I would say guys have, but we've never really mainly talked about it. Our biggest thing is growth, so you can't grow if you're looking ahead. And I think that's just been our biggest part of that. And I think the guys and the coaching staff really bought into growing every day. And I think that's the reason why we're here where we're at now.
Now, last year, Mike, you kind of talked about the NCAA as a goal, if I remember correctly. This year,
honestly, we tried something a little different. And I regret some of that. I don't know where it would have ended. We might have lost 2 more. We might have won 2 more. I don't know. But every year is different. Back to our roots as a staff in terms of just focused on daily development, on the court, off the court. And we can say it until we're blue in the face. My goodness. And you can preach it all you want, but it's the buy-in from this group led by the leadership, starting with these 2 guys as much as anyone, that's what we're doing. There's no pivoting, there's no steering away from any of that. That's what we're bought into doing. Let's get better today. I've said it since November. It's the best practice team that I've been a part of. These guys just work. They're resilient. They're tough. they're consistent, they're connected, they're selfless. These guys are about winning, and now they're reaping some reward, you know. But these two guys right here, I guarantee will have great practices tomorrow because they want more.
Where do you think this team has grown the most over the course of the season?
You guys want to answer that one?
Responses. I'd probably say that's been the biggest jump. I would say, looking at from June to now, just the way like guys have really got on to next play, or like we might have practices where we call no fouls, and guys get like really frustrated. But I think it pays off in the game because a lot of the guys just like, there's no point talking to the ref. He's not going to change his call, so just got to keep moving on and respond.
Silas, you said y'all don't talk as much about the tournament this year going up to it, but when you first got to Georgia, was that something you talked about with Blue, knowing you guys would be a core, like this is the vision before you maybe even got on campus?
Yeah, I'll probably say it definitely. I mean, obviously, I think that's a lot of high school guys' dreams when they commit to schools together. Like me and Blue, we played against each other on the Under Armour circuit, so just finally being able to be on the same team. Like obviously, you know, you have those conversations, and I think that was a big goal of us, and then including Dylan. Like Dylan definitely talked about going to the tournament, so I think that was a big part of us, and just to be able to build and be one of the main parts of it is a blessing.
And then also, I'm sure recruiting some of these transfer guys, trying to get the comes, you're talking to them and all that. I mean, how big of that was that part of the, I guess, the pitch? You know?
I would definitely say it was definitely a big part of the pitch. You know, talking to Tyron and Dakota, telling them guys like, obviously we brought back the three of us, but we got to bring guys that want to win and that's selfless. And I think those two guys, especially them being senior guys, being able to be selfless, because like this is their last year. They can be like, man, I just want to get my numbers and look good, but they bought in. Tyron even going through an injury. Tyron and Dakota both went through injuries and still been able to lead. Like they lead differently, so just them guys still doing that, we're appreciative for it.
Mike, we talked all year about the strength of the SEC, but
yeah.
When you say, you just think there's 14 teams for this conference, right in the NCAA tournament. Man, just how mind-blowing is that, even somebody's coached as long as you have.
It's just incredible. The strength of the talent, the depth, the coaching, the fan bases, the facilities, the exposure is at an all-time high in college basketball. And the numbers finally back it up. We've been saying it for a few years now. Like, I think the numbers this year will back up what we're saying. The SEC is the best league in men's basketball, like it is in so many other sports. You know, now it's not even a conversation. It's not an argument. We're proud to be a part of it. We won 8 in this league. This league's just it's a gauntlet. And Silas said responses. Think about that response that we had after a couple 4-game skids. You know, against what's wrong with Georgia? Well, what did you learn about yourself in these skids? We're probably not a top 10 team. That's all. But we might be 11. We might be 34. You know, or 40, which is still a really good team. It's just our league. It is, and it's hard, man. It's hard, and we've got a youthful group. I've said it all year. But you lose one, and it's your dauber can get down a little bit, and then it's about how well you respond, right? And then but you lose 2, and then you have to go on the road to play this team and that team. But the response to come home and beat a top 5 team, and then go on the road and get a couple, and then finish it, and then ran into an Oklahoma team obviously the other day that played really, really well, and they're very deserving, like we are, to represent this league.
Obviously, Coach, the drought for Georgia making this tournament is not on you, it's not on these kids, but just to the fan base, what might you say that you kind of got the program, and now you guys are playing basketball into March?
I mean, the first thing I'd say is I'm appreciative to our fan base to come support these guys, because we had a home court advantage this year. And the rest of our league did, but we did as well, for sure. And in our home wins, our student section and our other fans made a difference, and we're appreciative. Now, these guys played with some toughness and some, again, resilience. I'm wearing that word out, but that's who these guys are, to go get a couple on the road as well. But I'm appreciative that these guys came to Georgia. Silas said it too, Dakota and Tyron, they come back their 5th year from Greater Atlanta, had a bunch of options. These guys had options. Dylan had options. And we all came to Georgia. It's come together. We came to Georgia to rebuild and to get Georgia to a tournament, and it's special. We're going to celebrate it this spring, though, and we're going to prepare for Gonzaga.
Any more questions?
Mike, you're 4-0 in first round games at your time as a coach. What do you take from those past experiences to help this team get ready for that first round game?
Just had guys that were locked in. You know, we've had teams that were good. First off, you know, that's why we had the opportunities and that had the right approach. And these guys will as well. We outscored the other team. I mean, we just played a little bit better. You know, I don't think there's a big trick to it. These guys will be ready to go.
Thanks, guys.